Okay, Paul, we're starting at the back gate. I'll try and be as concise as possible. This gate, the springs are working okay. The issue is with this one that this latch has to be mounted a minimum of 1500. So this little point here has got to be over 1500 high. In order to do that, you're going to it's quite easy. You just have to move this up and probably move the latch up to a higher portion up here. That's easily doable. But that's got to be raised to 1500. I'll take you down to the corner here, and when we look at this little corner here, what we've got are climbable horizontals. Now, fence here is obviously a bit higher, but you've got to have what they call a clear span of 1200 mil from the top of the fence down. And what we've got here, so from there down, but also we've got an area that can be climbed around here. So what we need here is to bring this further out and to shield these. And I would do that by putting some palings against that it doesn't need to be 1200, but your measure is from the top. So when I bring that to 1200 there, you see this comes well down onto this area here. So what I would be doing is mounting palings to that point. So that this can't be climbed on. Now, I see you've got some wire that's been mounted. It's been mounted very loosely, and whilst that wire's okay, it's got to be mounted very tightly, otherwise it's just easy to step on. So what I would be doing is putting some palings here, so that there's nowhere that the kid can climb up there and around the fence. I'm just here at the windows. These windows, given that they're not more than 2.4 metres above the ground, so we're looking there, they're 1.7. These windows, both of them, have to be either screwed shut or limited to 100 mil opening only. So as you can see here, we're well over that now. That's 200 mil there. You can do that by putting a chain in, screwing them shut, or it is possible to limit the chain. This chain here, that's a more complex procedure, but certainly a little chain inside here to there, limiting it to 100 will do the job. So over at the main gate here, we have to test this with 24 kilos hanging off it, so it takes the weight of a child. This is actually only about 14 kilos. So opening this, it doesn't want to close. It closes fine without the weight, but it must close with that weight. Now, unfortunately, I can't retension your springs. So you're going to be looking at a new set of springs for here. Bunnings, if you're getting them, get the good ones. They're about $50, something like that. Quite easily affixed, and they're pretty good. Your latch is fine, no problems. It's just that these springs don't have the power to shut the gate with that sort of weight on. Going down to the far corner here, there's a little bit of pruning required. Try and sneak in. Now, your mesh here in the clear span from the top of the gate is no good, because that can be stepped upon. So this needs to be something solid to stop any kid climbing around the fence here. So I would say timber fence topper or something like that, but it needs to be quite robust, and to join up your piece of timber to the thing as well. The mesh will work if it's well connected and not something that a child can just bend and stand on, as we've got here. So I'd say the same thing for here would be put some palings there, or to strain that mesh so it's extremely firm and doesn't allow a kid a foothold. Whilst we're here, okay, we've got some pruning. This guy here, but clearly the big fella. This is basically a ladder up to over the pool. And looking at your hedge, which is so good, I think you'll find it wouldn't be too hard and would be necessary to get rid of this completely. I don't think it's going to hurt things too much. And you've got to have basically, again, clear span from the top of the fence, which is this point, the lower point there, 1200 out and down in an arc. That's not climbable. And so there's a fair few little stepping opportunities there for kids. And I don't think, to be honest, that's going to be missed. But yeah, it does lean up. I mean, we can't have a tree leaning on the fence for a kid to climb up. Moving right along, looking here, we see a gap under there that's well over the 100 mil allowable. This is 250, so we're looking there. So that's got to have a, I'd be mounting a piece of timber underneath that to the upside of the fence or into the side here, but you can't have a gap greater than 100 mil. So that's a very urgent one to do, because any kid could climb through there. Moving right along, we go up to what was probably a sandpit one day. That's what it would have been for me, I think. Look at this. Now our fence is well below 1200 mil. So this whole area is a problem. So you'd need to certainly add some height to this whole fence, and remembering that from that point there, it's got to be 1200 all the way down to there. So down to there. So this whole thing has to be heightened to make that happen. In this corner here, the fence is nowhere near 1200 high, so that's got to be raised. And then another big issue here is we've got a 1200 clear span from the top, which comes out to here, and that means that all of these points here, this are all stepping points. So in discussing this balcony, this needs to be shielded so that no child can put their foot up on these and use them as steps to help negotiate their way around into the pool. This has got to be at least 1200 high. And then when we get up to the balcony, so we want some shielding on that. Now the balcony is an issue because this is part of the pool fence and it's nowhere near 1.2 metres high. 1.2 is about here. So this is part of the pool fence, which means that these gaps here have to be less than 100 mil. And if we look at this here, we're looking at 120 as a minimum with any of these gaps. So we're going to need to see this raised to 1.2 metres and these gaps here closed. Now you can close them by adding extra bits of timber or by shielding it with perspex, with the mesh that you've been using down below or something like that, but they cannot be gaps that size. And the height here needs to be 1.2 metres all the way along. The only alternative to that would be to put another fence on the inside, but the retaining wall is not enough to be considered any sort of barrier. So this probably presents the biggest problem you've got at the moment. Happy to discuss that. Hoping I haven't missed anything. I'll go over it once again and